Alright, so welcome again to Crypto State Africa, and of course this channel is dedicated to reviewing blockchain projects, also checking out what's happening in the news, but also what's happening within the blockchain industry in Africa and also across the world. So of course, first of all, we always have to start first by just checking out the markets and see what's happening. You can see that Bitcoin is still on a low, it's still going down. Basically, the markets are still going down, and the current price is $10,330. And of course, once Bitcoin is down, all the other altcoins will be down as well. You can see there's just red negative percentages everywhere on the chart, on the list rather. So it says a lot about the influence of Bitcoin still. But the news that I have for you guys today is basically with the IMF, and of course the IMF predicts that central banks one day in the future will issue digital currencies. So it didn't necessarily specify that it's going to be cryptocurrencies, but basically they'll be getting into digital currencies. But of course, banks still want to have some sort of central authority over what happens within their industry. That's why they're centralized, and they still want to go into blockchain with that kind of how can I say, that kind of tradition that they used to. But okay, basically there's a couple of things I found in this article, and one of them is that the International Monetary Fund, of course, which is basically, let me show you. The IMF, for those of you that are not familiar with it, is just a group of 189 countries that are working together to foster global monetary cooperation, securing financial stability, and is also facilitating international trade. Basically, so this organization is just huge, and it's there to facilitate maybe when, say for example, when Greece had a very bad time with the economy, when inflation was extremely high, the IMF came out and assisted Greece out of a recession. So basically that's what the IMF is there for. So basically in this article, based on what they've been observing in all their studies, basically of 96 received responses, so they've just found out that in future cryptos, or rather digital currencies, will be run by central banks. And of course, according to the paper, several central banks in different countries are considering implementing some form of central bank digital currency. Uruguay has reportedly launched a CBDC pilot program already, while the Bahamas, China, Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, Sweden, and Ukraine are on the verge of testing their systems. So you can see already a lot of central banks across the world, as much as they might not necessarily be really working on cryptocurrency, blockchain forms of currency, but in a way they're also getting involved within, in the digital currency space. Of course, also in Africa, South Africa is one of the countries where also their Reserve Bank is, basically there's even a consortium that was formed by the Reserve Bank together with all the other national commercial banks within the country. With regards to cryptocurrencies and how they're going to go ahead, we also know that about in Japan, they have J-coin, which is basically derived from the Japanese yen, and so on and so forth. So I think really the IMF's prediction is correct on this one, because really, when there's a new industry, it takes time for people to adopt to it. It takes time for people to actually remove their skepticness, if there's such a word. But and what I see here is that really IMF is on the money as well. I also truly believe that within the future there'll be more digital currencies that will be issued by central banks. And also another highlight here says that one similarity, however, is that most central banks are not interested in issuing an entirely anonymous CBDC, as the institutions want transactions to ultimately be traceable by authorities when necessary. Again, they are throwing the culture, or rather the reason why Bitcoin in the first place, or any other blockchain that's similar to Bitcoin, was started in the first place, so that you can have a private person-to-person transaction that has very low fees. But of course, here they don't want to issue anything that's untraceable, or that can just be sent by anyone anonymous. So then again, that could be another debating point for whether this really is a cryptocurrency or not, because it seems to be centralized. But the IMF with this report, with this prediction, I can safely also say that we really are not even in the phase where there used to be doubts about whether cryptocurrency will be accepted by governments or whether it's going to be regulated, because some countries are already starting to, approach regulation. We can see also the G20 summit that just recently happened in Japan. There was a quite how can I put it? There was an appealing reaction to how the technology in blockchain or cryptocurrencies could really assist a lot in the underbanked market. So there's a huge confidence in what cryptocurrency is, what blockchain is all about, and the transition of money from really physical way of doing commerce into the digital space. So I'm quite confident, just as the IMF is. So it says a lot. And yeah, that's actually just all I wanted to talk about today, guys. Be sure to also check us another episode. I want to discuss basically what was happening in the G20 and what are the findings with regards to the talks about cryptocurrency and digital currencies. But I'll explain that in the next episode. But thank you so much, guys, and yeah, we'll see you again.